Trying to get set up here. Well, this isn't working. Good morning. Monday, February 7th. Well, Noella, I will tell you here right now, it's 50 and it's going to get up to 68. And it's supposed to get really super warm the next couple days, like Wednesday, Thursday, which is um, not really right. So we just want rain. So good morning, everybody. Today, we're going to do a variation of the feather stitch, and I'm not even sure that we have done the feather stitch properly, so we'll get on with that. And this one to me is a little trickery. Okay, I have a real hard time wrapping my brain around it. I even stitched it a bunch yesterday, and I was still and then I'm going to show you, it's the plaited variation of it. And I didn't know, but Wendy told me when we met just for a few minutes yesterday that plaited means braided. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Okie doke. Well, I have a sad day today. I think Sparrow, I think it's done. She had a stroke on Friday, and I didn't see it happen or anything, but she's very, very wobbly. I mean, the cat is 18 to 20 years old. That doesn't make it any easier. But I've been watching her judiciously, and I'm going to be calling a come at home vet. I've only taken Sparrow. Oh, I am a good pet owner, okay? I've only taken Sparrow to the vet once. She was a wild cat when we got her, and I thought she was going to have a heart attack being pinned down like that. And I mean, a mess, okay? And so I kind of always vowed that I would only take her if something was really wrong. Well, she got the memo and never had to go to the vet. And she never really strayed outside our backyard. So I just wasn't that worried about it. So fortunately, I have found a vet in the area that will come in and hopefully assess the situation. I haven't called her yet because I wanted to get through this before I called her. So yeah, that doesn't make Bubby happy at all. Okay, now that we're having a great day here, sharing my misery with me. Oh, okay. So, um, yeah, Jane, I can't shove that animal in a box. That would just be so cruel to do. That would be beyond cruel. And actually, it's my next door neighbor, Darcy, that said, "Hey, have you heard about this place?" And no, and the reviews on it are just fabulous. But okay, now what I want you to, oh, I got a couple weird things to do before we get started. But one of the things, this is not weird. Okay, that I have some things to do before we get started. Forgive me today for everything, people. So Peg sent me this of her paper piecing. It's finished finally, and I absolutely love it. You know, I'm trying to see, did she get the kit? Yeah, she did get the kit. Wow. I can just tell by a couple fabrics, but then I also see, Peg, that you added in stuff too. And if I recall, this is going to be for a kid or something. Honestly, I think you sent this Friday or something, and I downloaded it and then forgot about the exact details. And forgive me for that. Something else I want to share with you, I got from, Gregory Case Photo Man and his wife, Elena Morera. She sent me something, maybe some of you know about it already, last week, and fortunately I didn't lose it. And it's about World War II. Oh, I'm sorry, World War One. World War One, of which my grandpa Alex was a participant in. But anyways, World War One, I got all the paperwork here. Um, it was 100 years in 2018. It was 100-year old. I didn't know that. And it was really stinking bloody. And a lot of people died and a lot of people were wounded. And, this was before anybody spoke about PTSD or anything like that. And so many of the soldiers that returned were had to convalescing while providing a lifeline. Guess what it was? Embroidery. Yeah. So take a look at this. This is by, look at that, people. This is by Lawrence Corporal Alfred Briggs. And it is actually, this photograph is courtesy of the Australian War Museum collection. That's the source from it. But look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. And here's the thing with him. He was a he lost most of the use of his right hand. He's a right-hander, and this was done with his left hand. So how about that? Can we start making excuses now? And then this next one is by Private J. Harnett. Let's take a look at it. And a lot of them were, I don't want to say political, but no, political is not the right word, but were very much about, well, this, okay? I mean, that's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm trying to figure out where that one is. But, guess what? Embroidery is not for sissies. We are learning. And then this was the photograph that capped off the whole thing. Oh, they called it shell shock back then, Judy said. So that's where that expression comes from. Interesting, shell shocked. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Just amazing. And the other thing, you guys, that is that, yeah, patriotic people are saying, yeah. Here's the other thing. You think, I didn't know how this class would fly, to tell you the truth, that we're doing right now. And I think it's flown pretty well. And I think a lot of us, are finding a lot of solace in working in our hands. And I'm torn between about 12 different levers here on what to work on. I'm packing for our trip, and I'm taking all handwork. So that's pretty exciting, right? Also, let's see, I am going to put on this other camera and show you, we've got Dee's bundles ready to go. And oh, I don't like the way the light is shining on this. Here, I'm going to break it. Anyways, Dee's going to be starting a color class in a couple of weeks on Saturdays. And I'm going to bring this down some. It's more vibrant in person than it is right here. Have you guys seen this grunge star stuff? I mean, yeah. So what she has provided in a kit, actually, I think Kristen and she put it together, was a complete color range, and not from just one manufacturer. Like right here is Cave, all right? And in this class, I like that. In this class, she's going to be teaching you how to work the color wheel. Well, that's interesting. While also working, to understand, to put color work into practical solutions. I'm gonna have to buy this kit. I don't know who this one's by. Whew, I'm loving on it. Okay. So they went on sale, I believe, Thursday for Star members. We always give you guys first shot. And now they are on sale for everybody in the store. Even if you're not gonna do Dee's class, I think the fabrics in here are just simply spectacular. So, okay. Let me get that over there. Oh, I wasn't going to say anything about Sparrow, and that just came out of my mouth. I'm sorry. So that's Dee Christopher's color class that's coming up. Also, let me show you how mine's coming along. Why is it so bright here? I don't understand. Let me bring that in. Okay. So this is the feather stitch right here. And this is the plaited feather stitch. It's really quite spectacular. And originally this circle was only this big, and I decided it needed to be bigger to support. Here, let me put it on the big one, to support the whole piece. There. I think I'm getting near the home stretch, actually. I'm thinking in Hawaii, I can fill in some of this stuff, and I'm quite not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I have had a blast working on this, and I'll also work on my neutrals one too. All right. Yeah. So Pat, you like it now. Ah, good deal. All right. So let's take a look. The feather stitch is in your book, if you have this book, the feather stitch. It's got a ton of variations in it, a ton, okay? But guess what? Of course, I found the variation I want to do in this book, of course. And let me show you. So this is what we're going for right here, okay? But you start on this page here, you get you get the feather stitch, and then you start adding the other stuff to it. And let me show you which one really got to me. Look at this one with the pearls in it, and then like the little string, little threads there, and there's big beads there. I mean, ooh la la. And then here it is here. And I was so confused yesterday doing it. And Wendy said, will it make you, if you think of it as braided, because that's what plaited means, as I said earlier, does that help? And I said, no. So here it is there. Look at this. I mean, the sky's the flippin' limit. And then this one's got a ribbon under it to couch down a ribbon. Crazy. Okay. More. Oh, that's the fly stitch, which I think is kind of in the family of feather stitch if you want to get right down to it. So where's my little guy? Here it is. And let me grab my ink pen to make 2 parallel lines. And you're going to want to try this on a practice thing before you do it on your real thing, because your real thing, chances are, has a curve to it, and that adds a whole nother dynamic to the whole thing. So what I'll do, oh, somebody wrote me the other day and said her pen was drying up after about 15 minutes. So she'd had it a year, and I said, well, are you using it on a weird fabric? No, cotton. Well, time for a new one. Also, the other thing I know I've shared with you, I don't know if this is a fresh one or not. No. If you mark, this is an eraser end, and I think I've used it. Oh no, there it is, like that. So that's super cool if you make a mistake, okay? And it doesn't stain anything. So let's make 2 parallel lines. And I'm thinking that this is a little bit bigger than what I did here. Not much, but some, right? Okay. Here's where we're going. Here's where we're starting. This was my first attempt. In fact, we were laughing at it with Meryl and Wendy yesterday. She goes, if only people knew. I'm making myself learn. Okay, so I am going to hopefully duplicate that. The first thing you're going to do, and if you're looking in a book like this, okay, or like the other one, always go back to the original stitch. I was trying to figure out how to do it over on this page here, and it was like, no, or down here, and it was like, no, get back to the original stitch. And Meryl was saying that even she has a hard time doing just the feather stitch. So I would start with that if you've never done it, because it's a little trickery. So I'm going to come up on one line from the back. All right. Then I'm going to go across the train track, all right, to here. And what I did was I came down, I'm going to stitch in. I came down about as wide as this is. Then note that the thread is underneath my needle. Okay, see that? Here we go. Oh, stitch number 1. Then I'm going to go across the railroad tracks from this right here, and I'm going to come in right across the tracks, go down about the same width as this. Oh, and trust me, I had to tear things out. Trust me. I'm just picking it up. There. So across the railroad track, down about the same. I don't know how you could do this without marking the lines. I just don't. Come down or across or however you work. I'm wondering because I'm a left-hander, if I don't position things differently than you guys do. I think there's a fairly good chance of that. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Okay, I did that on purpose. Okay, now I'm in trouble. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. There. You probably saw it happening before me. Back to here. Never be afraid to unpick things. And I think, okay, these are kind of like weird little floating stitches, and I think you're more likely to get things screwed up with weird little stitches like this where one thing's catching another, whatever. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to bring this underneath the needle, lift it over. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. Okay. Straight across the railroad tracks, down the same amount as the width. Okay. Over here. I'm going to get a couple more stitches so we can get the plating in. It's going to go there, bring it around there. Don't try the plaited until you've got this sucker down. There we go. Okay. Under. Okay, I'll do one more. I went to my first T-ball baseball game since Joey was a little boy. Was that fun or what? At this point, it's just like, run to first base, just run to first base. It's a co-ed little group, and there'd be like little kids. They hit the ball off the tee, and then they run to chase the ball to pick it up. So cute. Okay. Now is where we need the drum roll. Now is where I'm a little bit shook up on what to do next. Okay. See, that's a pretty little stitch. And if you wanted to just do that, you could do little French knots on it. You could do little French knots in there. Tons of things you could do with this. And both books provide a lot of ideas. All right. So now what I'm going to do, we'll look over here. I'm going to cut, see how the pink is starting there. So that means I'm going to come up over here with the pink. Okay. So far, so good. Then I've got to turn it sideways. Then I'm going to go underneath this stitch here, under that stitch, and then I'm going to go across. Okay. Now I want you to note something here. This first stitch goes over the blue. This next one goes under the blue, thus the plating. I'm going to see, yeah, because Wendy said, does it help at all if you use the word braid in your mind? And I said, not really, but the plating, yes. There we go. So I'm going to go under, I'm going to go under here, under here. Oh, I think I'm not caught in it. Oh, remember one of you said you can go backwards too if you don't want to screw that up. Then I'm going to go down here, bring this under, Now I'm going to go over. In my brain, I kept saying, just stitch towards me. Just stitch towards me. Okay, see how this one's under, this one's over. So I'm going to go, I'm doing an over. No, I got to do an under. Okay, you guys, I was really nervous about today. I don't want to get cocky right now, but I'm pretty happy with myself. Okay, this one's going to go over the blue. Over, braiding, under. Man, this is a beautiful stitch. Uh-oh, what am I caught on? Okay. I hear John coming in.
So one person wants to know if you had to just get one of the stitching books, which one?
If I had to get one of the stitching books, which one? Boy, that's a loaded question. Let me look here and just think a minute. I'll tell you what, this is the one that started the journey for me. And what I like, let me pull it up, about this one by Christine Brown is that she would take a stitch and then, like Lazy Daisy, put it, all these Lazy Daisy stitches that you can do based on learning the Lazy Daisy. So like when we did the bugs the other day, wherever that was, okay, these are outline stitches, never mind, change the subject. It's all the things you can do with it, okay? Now, I want you to look carefully at these illustrations because this is something that I just want you to understand. On this book, you're getting illustrations, okay? And I don't know what you relate to. Now, this one also has left-handed and right-handed. And you know, the funny thing is I do have a left-handed book, and these are the two I'm going to now. Now, this one has it on in real time on canvas. So I don't know which your eyeballs can see better. I think it gets down to, do you like the illustrations or do you like the real time? And you could argue it in either direction. Also, this one has right hand, this one has left hand. I will tell you, well, let's just take a look at the Cretan stitch. Okay, let's see what it looks like here. I will tell you that in the end, you're going to own more than one book. It's like saying, what color fabric do you want to work with? Because there's so many dang stitches out there to choose from. These are both C and T. You know, you might even go to your library and see what they have and then live with that particular that book and see what you think. I have, again, so many, but interestingly enough, these are the two I'll probably take to Hawaii with me. This is probably it. So I, and I'm not being evasive. I'm not being whatever. I'm not. It's just, it's, that's a Sophie's Choice thing you've asked me here. Okay. So T-ball's the best. Oh, which would you choose? Okay, yes. So stitching in the round. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Where are you? Here we are. When I was going around, great question. I just always went, I would just go straight. I didn't make these any smaller. This is really a pretty bad example right there because I got caught on what to do underneath here. I wasn't sure. But you can see that these are the same as these. but I am going, whoop, not that one. I didn't do it that one, but I should be going straight across as much as possible. Okay. Um, so I don't think it's a shorter stitch, and I know exactly what you're asking. I think it's just keeping the placement. But again, that's why I always start with just a straight parallel line, because this does add a little trickery into the whole thing. And also, let's point out, this does look like CRAP here, okay? But by the time I get in the plating, and I'm not even sure how I'm going to do it, it will be fine. The beginning of this looks pretty bad. I'm just not going to stress over it because there's so many beautiful stitches to work on from here. Okay, so Bonnie Davis says she likes the Christian Brown book. Yeah, which is this one. I mean, well, great. Which is this one? You know, this is a new discovery for me. So, I wonder what the prices are. That's interesting. Okay, this is a heavier book. This one, it's $30. This one. This one is 20. Well, they're both $30. How can that be? How in the world? Okay, this one is 190 pages. This one is 160. Boy, that is interesting. I am shocked at that. Usually they determine the price of the book by the page count. I'm going to have to call and ask somebody about that. Okay. Um, please post both books. Linda, I'm sorry. We only carry this one in the store. Write it down. We carry this one in the store, Kristen Brown's. And of course, we love if you buy from us. Of course, we do. And then this one, we don't, I got off, I got it from, I got it elsewhere. That's all I'm going to say. I will tell you that Wood and Gate in Danville has this book. I saw it there. And it was after I ordered it. And I felt horrible because I would have much preferred to purchase it from Wood and Gate, 10 times 1,000 more. So, you know, this one is by Sharon Bogan. I mean, there's so much out there, and I'm sorry I'm being dancing around it. Okay, so let me talk about one more thing. Um, on Wednesday, I'll show you what's going on with the neutrals quilt. I'm really happy with it. And that was one that scared me partway through. Okay, remember to mark your calendar. March 2022 International Quilting Weekend. We have a lot of things we're doing. I'm going to do a sew along on Saturday. From my lips to God's ears, we can kick off the neutral quilt there, but I'm not setting it in stone. Sunday, Ricky's going to do like his top tips that he falls back on every single time, a couple hours each. And then also we're going to have prizes, free shows, but this is the grand tamale right here. Yep, that's the grand tamale, 570 QE. And so I know that Quilter Select is throwing in a bunch of stuff. I know like rulers, like a complete set. I know that AccuQuilt is being very, very generous. We're working with other vendors, and this is not anything that you have to be in the United States for. So yay on that. So spread the word. It's going to be the ultimate sew-in, the ultimate quilting weekend. In fact, I made plans to go out to lunch and went, oh my gosh, it's not the wrong weekend. So I've changed that one. Okay, here we go. Will the quilting weekend be on Facebook, Ronnie? I think it's going to be I don't know. I'll find out from John. I don't worry about the things behind the magic veil. I can't worry. I have no idea how they're pulling it off. Um, I agree with Chris 100%. Go to your library, take out the embroidery books, and then buy the ones you like. I agree 100% because there are so many out there. I mean, Judith Montano takes it to a whole nother level with crazy quilting, and I'm stopping before that. It's endless, just endless. Okay, as a new customer, C&T gave me a 30% discount from Dan and Terry Whiteman. I love my CNT. No, it is not for members only, Hillary. It is for the world. We are going to unite quilters worldwide that day. Of course, we would love it if everybody was members. Don't kid yourself that, because it's how we keep this whole dog and pony show going. So I will see you Wednesday. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. Friday will be my last day, and then I'll be back in a couple weeks. So have a great day.